The full-time whistle has gone in Pretoria, and here are some thoughts following South Africa against Italy. I love today. It is just a day completely chock-a-block with rugby, and I started having a cup of coffee and my breakfast, watching the games this morning. I'm at the point now, it's 6:15 in the evening, and got a bit of that on the go. And well, I guess I was going to say congratulations South Africa on the win. Probably congratulations to Italy on the second half. They made it closer than many would have predicted. Definitely closer than I predicted. 42-24 it finished. Italy winning the second half, 3 tries to 2, 21-14. And I think the Boks with the win, which is ultimately all that matters, they roll on, but they can and they will, and they'll need to get better, and they will probably feel quite frustrated. I think that's been one of the themes of the day so far. It's been the frustrations of the favourites. When you look at, like, even Scotland against New Zealand, Maori, it was close, but they got the win. And New Zealand, close, but they got the win against a weakened France team. The British and Irish Lions, a win, but frustration, and not by maybe the margin that they would have wanted. And South Africa, the same. For once, the bomb squad hasn't detonated to the degree that it normally does, but it's a win. And there are definitely some positives. I mean, I guess maybe, and it sounds like a criticism, but I guess the biggest positive is that the Boks never got out of third gear and they still won by a margin. But fair play. I do not want to discredit Italy at all, because they are actually playing with a slightly weaker team themselves, Italy. No Monte Ioane, no Juan Ignacio Brex, no Paolo Garbisi, Martin Pagerello, Michele Lamaro, Seb Negri. They've left quite a lot of their most experienced players out to rest. And this is a bit of a depth-building exercise for Italy. And you have to say fair play. They showed a whole lot of spirit. And I thought it was going to be one-way traffic in the second half. And that is not how it panned out whatsoever. Let me know what you think, by the way. Get stuck in the chat down below. I'll be there with you. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. I was reminded watching this game. I know that there are times when it could have felt a little bit flat because the second half didn't quite go the way that South Africa would have wanted it to, and the Italians frustrated the Boks. But I was reminded just how much fun Loftus Versfeld is. I was there last year at the Ireland match, and the pre-game game of the fans in Pretoria is wild. There's the braais on the street by 10 a.m. Clippies on the go early, and then they just come to have a really good time. And the stadium DJ. So this would not work in Twickenham, and this is what I love about it. I love it when things feel right for that place. And the stadium DJ, and I met him last year, and if it's the same guy, he's called Dexter, and he's awesome, and I can't wait to bump into him again. Man, he was rolling out the bangers. It would, like I say, it would not work in a million years at Twickenham. It works there. A bit of Sister Bettina, Cranberries, and the rest. And can I just say, I know the bomb squad didn't quite have the impact that it normally does, but fireworks when the bomb squad go on the pitch, I am here for it. I actually think South Africa can go further. I think it should be when the bomb squad come on, yes, fireworks, yes, the music, but I reckon they should have them entering like WWE wrestlers. Like, actually have them inside the stadium waiting, and then at some point you'll hear like that Undertaker bong. Maybe the lights go off, and then the crowd know, it's bomb squad time, and out they run, out the tunnel, straight onto the pitch. So I just love the entertainment. Let's talk about the actual game then. And I think probably the biggest positive from South Africa's perspective, which you saw massively in the first half, was, and they were definitely rusty, first proper game. I know the Barbarians game wasn't really a proper game. First international proper test match of the year. And it was slightly rusty. Boks, who did enough to win, but they put some Italian biff tech on the braai at scrum time. They absolutely marmalised them in the scrum. Like, I cannot remember the last time I saw a scrum against the head, because now hookers don't hook and the scrum halves just feed the ball straight into the second rows. You have to be basically A scrum has to be going backwards on roller skates in order to win the scrum against the head, and the Boks got one of them. They were frightening. That Vilko Low, Oxenche, Malcolm Marks, Etzebeth and Lou Diaga combo, that front five, massive work. And I have to say, I thought Jasper Wiese put in a huge shift carrying the ball. And I think Vincent Tichuca looks like an international class player. And his battle, he was in the 7 shirt for South Africa. And I know it's different position. The Italian 7 is the open side, which is where Marco van Staden were playing. But I thought that the 2 7s for both teams were absolutely brilliant. I thought Tichuca was great. And I flagged up Zuliani and Menoncello before the game. And obviously Menoncello is a known quantity now, world-class player. He's approaching World 15 levels. I thought he was really good. But Zuliani has been so good. And he is a young star in the making with Italy. He got a try, which he totally deserved. He put in a massive shift. Yeah, so the scrum set the tone. Italy were atomised there. It led to a try for Jesse Creel, who has the muscle tone of a chimp, and he has his head taped up like Sia Khaleesi for his stint as captain. Try time for him. There was a question about whether that was offside from the little Damien Dialende nudge through. And by the way, let me just mention that. I mean, Damien Dialende, when you think of him, you think of big, heavy carries, big man, big shots. He's got a deft touch, and that was a lovely little nudge through. Yes, he had penalty advantage in his back pocket as an insurance policy, but beautifully executed kick. There's a lot of people on WhatsApp groups I'm on and seen it online saying that was offside. The TMO checked it. I think they made the right call because the rule is, and there was a lot of people saying he's in front of the kicker. Now, yes, Jesse Creel was just in front of Damien Dialende. Doesn't mean Jesse Creel's offside. Question is, was he in front of the ball when it was kicked? And the ball was slightly in front of Damien Dialende. Jesse Creel was level with the ball. So I thought it was the right call, onside. Lorenzo Canoni, who went off injured later on a stretcher. I think they were saying that in comms that it was not going to be too serious, but it looked worrying. It was a bit of a stop down, wasn't it? He got a yellow card earlier in the game. I think the yellow card might have been given for the wrong person as well. But then scrum again with a penalty, scrum under the Italian sticks. They go for it. They walk it over, and Morne van den Berg steals Jasper Wiese's try. Scrum half's nicking pushover tries. It's fine. Actually, Morne van den Berg was man of the match. It's an interesting one. It's a tough man of the match to call because it was a stuttery performance. I'm not... Early on, I wasn't 100% sold on Morne van den Berg in this game, and I did think he grew into it, and we saw Faf back on the pitch, which was really lovely to see. Villy Leroux for test cap number 99. But at this point, 14-0 up, man down, scrum on toast. I thought Italy are cooked, and the Boks pack is cooking. But fair play to Italy, the way they hung in. They have got some steel. I've seen this in the Six Nations. They've got fight and they've got spirit, and that goes a long way. And when you think back to the Rugby World Cup when they got absolutely spanked by New Zealand and Italy, and it was the end of, I forget the old coach's name, but it was the end of that era, and there was just no spirit in that team. But Capuozzo, there's another player that's not playing for Italy in this match. But yeah, they just had bags and bags of spirit. Really, really fought for each other, and that was shown in the second half. So yeah, the stretcher bearer was one of the busiest men in the stadium, along with the DJ. Italy got themselves on the board with 3 points, and then Kurtley Arendse just shredded Italy's defence. Just said no thank you to all of the tackle attempts, showed wheels, and that guy he's just class. The try-saving tackle he put in as well was another big moment, but that was the best moment of the game, was that Kurtley Arendse try. Absolutely awesome. That was 30 minutes in, 21-3, and Morne van den Berg with a try just before half-time. They were all converted, the 4 tries in the first half by Pollard. And at 28-3, did you not think second half is going to be a beatdown? And it could have been, had Vincent Tichuca's try not been disallowed at the start of the second half, that may have set the tone. It was a lovely break by Damien Willemse, but it turned out Oxenche caused a little hole in the Italian defence, which Willemse went through. And there was a bit of a 14-point swing, and this was where the game could have gone rapidly one way, and actually it flipped the other because the Boks had their try disallowed, and then that man Zuliani, the pressure that Italy put on with a little bit of territory, that try was scored and converted. The bomb squad came on, and yeah, Vincent Koch did score a try. And by the way, I know I'm a grown man, but I just hearing the comms saying Koch, Koch, Koch just makes me smile. I like it. I like Vinny Koch as well. And yeah, the bomb squad went kaboom, as the commentator said, and they did get on the scoreboard. That was after, by the way, Octopus Arms Snyman with the offload, Tachuka with a little chicken wing offload out the back as well. 35-10. But then it was just back and forth. JC could have scored in the corner, Kurtley Arendse with that try saver, but Pablo Dimchev, and just to highlight the fact that Italy are experimenting, Pablo Dimchev plays in the French second division. So they are building some depth there. A try on debut from a maul, and that might be the most disappointing moment of all. And that'll be a really frustrating one, that the Boks got walked over their own line from, 15 metres out. And then Nicolo Canoni scored a try, and it was an 11-point game. Just the scoreline made a little bit more respectable by hometown boy Marco van Staden scoring at the end. Disallowed try from Italy, and it was all over. How do you make sense of that one then? I'm minded to say Italy poured a massive amount of energy and effort into that one. And I kind of think it feels a little bit similar to New Zealand against France earlier today. And my thoughts coming away from New Zealand-France earlier today were New Zealand showed a few moments of what they're capable of, but not enough of them strung together, and a little bit of inaccuracy and ill discipline. And I think the same is true of the Boks. And what I also thought about New Zealand is they were up against a team that poured masses into that. And I'm not sure the French team are going to be able to back that up again next week. And I kind of think the same thing about Italy. I'm not 100% convinced that Italy are going to be able to dust themselves off and go again, whereas the Boks will probably freshen up with some positional changes. I mean, you could swap Morne van den Berg and Pollard for Williams and Sasha. You can swap basically every position for someone else really good, and I'm sure there will be a bit of that going on. And they'll bring energy, and they'll be going away frustrated and wanting to come back and prove a point. So I think New Zealand will win much more comfortably next week. I think South Africa will win much more comfortably next week. But I do not want to take away from what was a really strong Italian performance, alongside quite a frustrating one, I would imagine, from South Africa. But a great occasion. What a day so far. And we've still got, in a couple of hours, England against Argentina to wrap up a beautiful day of rugby. Don't you just love it? Hit subscribe on the channel if you haven't already. I will see you on the next one.